we have some debunkings. Derek Jeter's docuseries, he debunked the gift basket that he gave to women who spent the night. Any other debunkings that we have, Paulie?
Yeah, we've had a couple in the history of this show. We had Joe Montana on about a decade ago, and he debunked the movie Rudy, where all the players brought in their jerseys and they carried them off the field. And Joe Montana debunked both of those, said that no one ever turned in their jerseys. And the carrying off the field thing was more of a joke and not so much a tribute to a young man's overcoming adversity.
That was a bad day for Seton.
It was a bad day for Joe Montana.
Yes, it was. Yeah, people roughed him up, social media. Like, what are you doing? You just ruined Rudy for us.
Oh, okay, Joe, that's right. You're the only player who ever came out of Notre Dame. You're the boss, okay.
You got a Notre Dame helmet that Rudy Rudiger signed over there, Seton, right in front of you.
Yeah.
All right.
Legend.
So we debunked that.
There's one more debunking in the history of this show. Right. Whenever an athlete gets injured in a quirky accident, they always bring out the list of other athletes who got injured in quirky accidents. Yeah. And one of them is the Hall of Famer from the Braves, John Smoltz. Supposedly, he ironed his shirt while it was on his body, burnt his chest, and had to miss a start. The original story was that he was wearing a dress shirt, getting ready to go out, and he took a hot iron, like the handheld one, and pressed it against his chest and burned himself up. Now, John debunked that on our show.
Yes, he did.
Now, you know what's funny is that
poor John.
We're talking about Derek Jeter and how he's such a ladies' man that you would believe that he had gift baskets and a car ride home. On the flip side of that, we also believe that John Smoltz would iron a shirt while still wearing it and burn himself.
The story was around for 12 years before you asked him about it, and he goes, "Dan, I'm glad you brought this up. We'll get the sound." He goes, I had one of those steamers. It's like a little thing of water, and it bubbles up, and you take the steamer and you steam clothes whilst they're hanging. He said some of the steam water jumped out and burnt his chest, and he did have to miss a start. But he did not iron his own chest, which, buzzkill.
Allegedly.
Well, allegedly. I don't know. I don't know if I believe Smoltz. It felt like it was Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine that may have enhance that.
Dude, just iron it. Just put it on. Go ahead.
No,
it's
you
fine.
can do it. You can steam it. We steam our clothes all the time that way.
We're running late. Come on, just do it while you go.
Yeah, Paul.
There's a headline on a website the day after we had Smoltz on. He said, the John Smoltz urban legend story that was too good to check. Unfortunately, the story is now over because someone actually bothered to check and asked John Smoltz.
Also, there was a fake quote that was attributed to John Morant and the Mothership, one of their shows. Said that Morant said Michael Jordan would be considered just another superstar if he were playing today. They have since walked that back and said that that was not an actual quote. I don't know how you get that quote because they did an interview with John Morant. Taylor Rooks did, and he said a lot of things, but if there's no audio to something like that, then I would be really suspicious because he did say some things like, hey, I'd like to have, checked Mike back in the day. Yes, Eaton.
It happens, though, because you're just scrolling through Twitter and you just catch one sentence and you're like, I don't click any further. And then it sticks in your head. And then 2 hours later or something, you know what I mean? It just comes back out and you can't. Sometimes you're just scrolling through this stuff and you're taking in so much information that it just gets implanted.
But I don't even know. It's a fake quote that was wrongly attributed to Bleacher Report, and then they discussed it yesterday. So, how does the fake quote get?
The news source should have been a tip-off. When you're looking.
Yeah, Paulie.
And now Michael Jordan's not sure who to be mad at. First he's mad at John Morant, then is it Bleacher Report or is it ESPN?
Yes, Todd.
You would have thought the fake quote would have been when he said, I would have cooked Michael Jordan if we played together. But that actually was a real quote.
Well, I think because he said that, then you're like, all right, maybe he felt like, if Jordan played now, he'd be just another superstar. Then you realized, okay, that's made up, not the other one where he said, I would have cooked him. Yes, Marv.
Who got yelled at? Who'd you yell at?
Well, the host, it always comes back to the host. And I think it's David Jacoby. And that he was filling in for Max Kellerman, I think, on a show in the afternoon. But, you know, it still comes back to you because you're the one delivering. It's like the Steve Bartman fake interview that I was conducting on SportsCenter. It still comes back to me. I did the interview, but it wasn't Bartman who was on the other line. But it went through the process at the mothership, and, you know, it was vetted, but it still comes back to nobody knows who those people are who vetted this, but I'm there going, that's not Steve Bartman. How does Howard Stern's butt cheese?
That tipped you off?
That's when I knew it wasn't Bartman.
You sure? You could have continued on. Maybe he talks like
I
that.
could have. I should have said, wait, no, expound upon that a little bit more. No. Yeah, that one was tough because everybody wanted Bartman. All of a sudden, I got it. All right, we got Bartman? Yeah. Hey, you know, when we came back 15 minutes into SportsCenter, got Steve Bartman. And, you know, he played it well. And all of a sudden, when he gave me the, how does Howard Stern's butt cheese taste or something? And I went, yeah, you got me. And being the journalist, I said, I would have no idea. I was trying to, you know, channel my inner Bob Lee there. What would Bob Lee do right there? Bob Lee's never been asked that. You know, all the great moments I had on SportsCenter. Weren't you the guy that did the Bartman interview? Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me. Captain Jenks. He was the prank caller. Legendary prank caller for Howard
I think
Stern.
we've been had.
Yes, that was my famous line. I think we've been had. And there's nothing you could do because it's live TV. And you're like, all right. Still to come on SportsCenter. Yeah. Something that actually happened. Something
Cold hard 6-pack.
Something. Yeah. Oh, the Coors Light 6-pack of questions. Yeah. Is that what it was?
Something like that.
Yeah. Oh, God. I'd bring in, you know, it'd be Mark Schlereth or Sean Salisbury. And be like, and we would tape it, and then we'd package it, make it look really nice. The Coors Light 6-pack of questions or whatever it was.